Hi, I'm Tami. We are honored and looking forward to doing a free workshop for educators, navigating stress during challenging times and giving yourself care. And Rise Gatherings is delighted to be providing a workshop for educators and also want to give them voice for everyone beyond educators to hear what educators are navigating and how they are finding support. So I invited some amazing women to join me. I have Tink and Jill, who are both educators, and Melissa, who is a psychotherapist with many years of experience working in schools. And she'll be joining us for the workshop to be giving teachers some ideas for better understanding to support themselves, their colleagues, and their students. So Tink, I'd love to start with you and ask how it's been for you and what you are finding challenging.
I'm finding a lot of things challenging. Almost all of the things that have to do with virtual learning are challenging for me. One, because I am not tech savvy and I've had to reteach myself how to do all of these things. I tend to ask my 18-year-old how to get onto Zoom and how to do all the things when I'm struggling with it. So that part is challenging, but from a different aspect as a teacher, I'm a mom and I'm a wife. I'm a teacher. And when I'm at school and I'm actually in person and in the building, I can give it 110%. But when I'm home, I can't give anyone 110%. So I have a 5-year-old who is asking for help on how to get to a different page. Well, I'm still supposed to be working 8 to 3 for my 200 students. So it's challenging. I feel like I'm letting everyone down.
It also sounds like not a lot of time for you. Yeah. Thanks, Tink. How about you, Jill? I love seeing you in your virtual classroom and what your students see when they see you every day.
Thank you. There's, like Tink said, many things that are challenging. I think what I'm having trouble with right now is the unknown. Like every day, we're not sure, are we going to close or we're not going to close? Are students going to be switching from different modes of learning to, virtual to in person? And as teachers, we're planners. We like to have things planned out months ahead of time, and having to be that flexible and spontaneous and pivot on a moment's notice has been difficult for me, because I do like to have some sense of control over what's happening. And since this has happened, there's really been no sense of control. Sometimes it's just day to day.
Well said. Thanks, Jill. And Tink is agreeing. Melissa, I'm curious when you listen to them, what it makes you think about.
I think about how teachers and being a teacher is so stressful, even under the best circumstances, and that teachers really set the climate for their classrooms, virtual or regular. And depending on how they're feeling, they can make their kids feel happy or sad or joyous or miserable. And when you are stressed doing all the things, Tank, as you described, that you are doing, managing multiple roles at a time and having to completely be flexible in the way that you described, Jill, the stress levels are just above and beyond. And so the more that as teachers, you can manage your own levels of stress, the more you can set a climate for your students that is helpful. And it's hard to imagine that, like in a workshop like this, we're not teaching you classroom management skills, we're not teaching you, educational techniques, but that the research is so clear that when teachers feel more grounded and centered and can respond from a place of calm and connection to their students, they are more productive and do better in the classroom. So what a benefit. You get to take care of yourself and your students do better. It's like a win-win.
I love that. I think that I'm generalizing, but we often have trouble prioritizing our own self-care in order to try and get everything done and meet everyone's needs. But I love what you're saying, that all of that will follow when you do give yourself care.
And Tammy, just to piggyback on that, I've had to prioritize what I do with the students too, because as we're talking about our self-care, I realize that they need as much self-care as we need sometimes. And so I've had to switch this year from an academic focus more to a social emotional learning. And I think that's helped not only myself, but it's helped the kids too, to reprioritize and shift all those priorities around.
What an amazing gift you're giving them. If they can learn those skills along with you and practice them as part of the classroom. Well, before we go, anything else that anyone wants to add just to represent educators, an invitation to them, to others to better understand what's happening right now?
I just want to thank you for this, because I've been coming to Rise Gathering retreats and day retreats and workshops for over a year now. And we have talked about doing something for teachers. I don't know how many times we've talked about it and how much it is needed. So speaking for myself and for the other educators out there, I thank you for reaching out to us and offering this workshop.
Thank you, Jill. The RISE community has many amazing teachers and educators, and they have been coming this year for experiences online. And when we were doing in-person forest bathing, the educators were really showing up, and our hearts were honestly breaking for some of the pressures they were feeling. And we just thank you. We see you. And this workshop is open to any educator. You can, if you're watching this and you're an educator, you can of course come, but you can also pass this link on to educators in your life as a way of telling them you matter. Give yourself some care and some tools that you can then teach others. Thank you everyone for joining us. Look forward to seeing you Wednesday night. And to register, the link is in this post, and we would love to see you there. Thank you.
Thanks. Hope to see you.